What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video on my channel. Today we're doing a big project. We have a surprise, or I have a surprise for all of you. As you can see, there's no white car here, and you're probably thinking, oh, that car was rusty, he's probably getting it sandblasted, he's probably getting it acid dipped because, you know, that's race car, and that's my buddy's messaging me now because that's not what we're doing today. Actually, what happened to my car was it was too rotted and I really did not want to deal with it. I felt like it wasn't worth fixing what it was, but I've been watching a lot of Street Bandito stuff, and I kind of wish I kept it and did something like that with it. If you don't watch Street Banditos, you should watch them. They do really cool carbon fiber stuff, and yeah, that would have been awesome to do something like that with the car. But again, that's way too unrealistic for what I could potentially do at the moment and in this little garage. But yeah, anyways, what happened to the car? Yeah, this is what happened to the car, pretty much though. Yeah, so that car is donezo. It's at the junkyard, and it's never coming back. Yeah, that thing's never coming back. It's the scrapper. It's probably crushed already right now, which is pretty sad. And I'm really sad about destroying a car like that, because in reality it was a really cool car and it was really nice, but it was really rusty and a lot of stuff was falling apart and things were starting to break on it. But anyways, let's get over that. We're gonna go pick up my new car today. You're not gonna see what it is now. I'll show you guys what it is after. Don't go look at it yet. Don't do that yet. Wait, just wait. Yeah, so we're gonna look at that. My buddy Mike is coming right now with his truck. We're gonna go meet up with, we're actually gonna pick up my other buddy Peter and Anthony. Peter has a trailer, so it's gonna work out pretty well. And yeah, hopefully we're gonna go out for lunch if we can find somewhere to go for lunch. Hopefully I can buy them all lunch for me, because you know what, those guys do a lot for me. And yeah, it's about 6 o'clock in the morning. Mike should be here. He's coming to get me first. Then we're gonna go to our other buddies. Then we go pick up the trailer, and then we're off to 4 hours away where the truck is. Yeah, or the car. Car's pretty far away. It's not too bad. It's not too cold. It's okay. It's middle of December and it's not that bad.
Yeah, that's the next right. That's great. She bought a German Shepherd.
Nice. So we were supposed to just get here and load the trailer, but as you can see, there's a nice little Jetta in the way. Pete's getting the key or something to get us out of here. So let's go.
Yeah, it's about like 0.5 megapixels. Does this thing stick? Does it need to straighten out? A little more. Hold it right there. Stop. Go up a little bit. Forward. A smidge.
Like, let off the brake and hit again.
Yeah, right there, right there. Don't put it in park, it'll roll. You want me to get that, Peter?
It should be okay. Don't hit your hand, eh?
Make for some good B-roll.
Go. I think she's on.
Honestly, I can feel my chest there. All the way down.
You know what's really cool? Every time you turn on that camera, I say
something in the book.
Yeah, you got the straps right.
Yeah. No. So we just finished loading up the car. I'm not gonna show you guys yet. I'm gonna leave you a little hint right here. It's silver. I don't know if you can tell by what this is, but yeah. So the car's done. I got it. It looks fucking great. There's a lot of things I have to fix, but I'll show you that when I get to my house and after we unload it, and I'll show you guys what the car is. But there's a couple things we have to fix instantly. But yeah, so this thing's gonna be a great candidate. The interior is a disgusting color, but we're gonna fix that. And yeah, let's take the drive home and let's go look at it home. What's going on, guys? Yeah, so this is my new race car project for the YouTube channel. Ta-da! Anyways, this car here is a 1987 Toyota Supra Turbo. We'll get into that after. It's not really a turbo technically anymore, but we'll get on with that. Yes, so this is the car that is going to replace the SC on this channel. So yeah, I'm gonna have to change my YouTube name and my Instagram name. First things first, I want to really talk about the SC first and pretty much why it's gone. So the reason I got rid of it is basically because I messed it up and I took it more apart than I probably should have, which is unfortunate because I kind of did ruin the car like that, and I did take one more off the road. There's one less on the road going forward now, and I really am really bad sorry about that, and I feel really bad about it. It took me a while to get over it, pretty much. After I got rid of the car, basically I started watching a lot of Street Bandito stuff, and if you don't know who they are, you should watch them. They're on YouTube. They're building a time attack street legal race car for Global Time Attack. It's a 240Z full carbon body with a F22 S2000 drivetrain swap, so it's actually really cool. They have a, I think it's an S13 or 14 rear end conversion from Techno Toy Tuning. I don't know the whole story. They can explain it obviously better because it's their car. The guy Tim there is really cool. He's really good at carbon fiber, so hopefully I can take some tips from him and put it towards this car hopefully in the future. Maybe I can learn to make carbon fiber pieces like this, or maybe even fiberglass to start off, and just to make slightly things and learn better with that. So why I'm mad is because after watching them, I probably could have used a lot of the tips they used and just made my SC a strictly race car time attack car instead of building it for the street to do multiple things, all these other things. But there's a few things that would have went differently with that car. Like I probably would have wanted to go 3UZ in that car instead of a 2J just for weight balancing purposes, and also with a small turbo to make about like 400 horsepower, just so I could be more competitive in the unlimited class that it would have been thrown into, because it would have been gutted, engine swapped, and a lot of tube stuff. Like I probably would have cut the front off and did a tube chassis, but that would have been a lot of work, and especially way out of my pay grade because I've never actually done any welding like that. I've done like little welding here and there. Like I'll show you. I'm practicing with this. They're not the prettiest welds, but if you look at the penetration, I think they did pretty good. They're not perfect or clean. Also, I'm using a Moto Master or a Mastercraft welder, so it's like $150 at a Canadian Tire because we live in Canada. But it probably would have been good for a tube chassis for like safety, but yeah, it would have worked for little things like this. And my sim rig is coming along okay. That video's not out yet, but you'll see it's coming along. But yeah, that was the plan for the SC. I kind of went a little bit crazy, wanted to have a gutted race car on the street, and that probably would have worked out because the police here are kind of strict on things like that here in Toronto-ish, Canada. But enough with the SC, that thing's gone, and we have to move past from that, unfortunately, and this is the new car. Not so much unfortunately, but this is my new car. So this is my new 87 Supra, like I said before, and obviously since I have my 2J, it is going to be thrown into this, and it's going to be more of a time attack road course autocross build. I do want to make a little bit of power just so I can be a little bit competitive, and I do want to have a little bit of fun on the street, but not too much that I'm going to get in way too much trouble, and I'm going to blow the tires off the second I hit any sort of gas on the highway or anyway, right? I just want it to be a clean street car that I won't get into too much trouble with, and it'll be a lot of fun at the track. And somehow, I know these cars are pretty heavy, and I have some ideas to lighten it up, and hopefully I can with the advice from Street Banditos or other guys like that Steve Pat guy. Shoot, I forgot his name. But so yeah, some other guy on YouTube that I watch that does a lot of carbon and composite stuff. So let's start with this car. This car currently does not have a motor in it. That's what I meant by before saying it was a twin turbo car, but it does not have twin turbos anymore. Or I think a single turbo? I don't know what the 7Ms came with. I think it was a single turbo. But it does not have a turbo anymore. There's no motor in it. The guy I bought it from was going to put a Hemi in it and use the R154 that came in the car originally. But he sold the R154, so I do not have that here anymore, which doesn't matter because I have my CD09 and I just purchased my adapter kit. I'm gonna make a video on that when I do get it back. The transmission is on its way to get fixed, and I do have the Fish Racing Engineering, however the company's name is. I have it right here. I have it overlaid while I talk about it. I have that adapter kit already here, and I'm ready to start getting that ready. Like I said, this car doesn't have a motor in it, so I'll show you guys that as I talk about this as well. It doesn't have a motor, but the car looks pretty good. It doesn't have very much rust that I could find anywhere, just a little bit of things because it is a 33-year-old car, so there's gonna be some rust in like the wheel arches and stuff like that I can fix myself. I can probably get some sheet metal and fix that myself. It can't be too hard, but the main thing is that the frame rails, unlike my SC, are clean. There is no rust on them. I checked that. That was the first thing I checked because SC did have some rust on the frame rails that did bother me, and it did have some on the radiator support as the SC did. This car does. This car is pretty clean. There is some stuff that's rusted, or a lot like slight body rust and stuff like that. Not body rust, but there is some rust on things like the clips, on like the bumper and stuff that hold it up, which is inevitable because it's a 33-year-old car, and the guys probably before me definitely drove this into winter, whether it was brand new or whatever. It's just 33 years old. It's been sitting out for years. It's inevitable. But it is what it is. That's fine. Also, there's a couple cool things that came with the car. Like, I did come with these wheels. I don't remember the name of them. They're a GTS something. There's some random wheels I found that they came with. They are flow formed or forge formed or something like that. So they are a decent designed wheel. So they're pretty strong. But the only problem is that they only came with 3 lugs on each wheel. I did order new lug nuts, the Gorilla something. They're steel that are extended they're good for extended studs because I don't know if I'm going to run space or anything in the future. So I would like to run extended studs just for the safety of having as many threads as I possibly can. So they are open-ended, so it works out. But they don't work on the way they're installed now. There are extra holes on the wheels. I don't know if that's for a different bolt pattern, but the lug nuts I have, the ones that I bought, do work on the other holes that are on the wheels. So hopefully those will bolt on as well. Also, it did come with like a little carbon fiber trim piece where the covers the windshield wiper thing. It's pretty cool. It looks like real carbon fiber. It's most likely 3 layers or 2 layers of fiberglass with a nice piece of carbon on top. I learned that from Street Banditos as well. They explained that basically all carbon fiber is basically mainly fiberglass and then a piece of carbon just to make it look pretty, which makes sense, and that's why it's so cheap, some of the parts you find. Also, the interior is an ugly brown. I'm gonna try to get as many clips of the stuff like this as I can because the car doesn't roll and I don't have a lot of room on my driveway currently. I'm gonna try to get as many clips as I can show you, but the interior is disgusting. It's brown, it's ugly brown burgundy color that needs to go, but the seats and stuff are in very good condition, so I probably could sell those and somehow get, well, not somehow, I probably can sell those and buy nice bucket seats for the car itself, and I can get a nice black, and then slowly I can get the SEM or SEM paint, and I can paint the carpet, dye that, and I would like to get, instead of painting the rear seats or the rear vinyl seats or the leather seats, whatever they are, I would like to wrap it in a different material, most likely a lighter material. I don't know what material that would be. If you guys know anything like that, please comment down below. I would like to know something that I can wrap the seats in, or reupholster, as I should say, the back seats so they're not as heavy because of the leather. Also, most things like the dash and maybe possibly the center console, I'm going to flock 100%. That's going to happen. The dash 100% is getting flocked, just for the simple fact that it's the easiest and cheapest way to fix a dash that is an ugly color like that, and since there's no cracks, it helps as well, but that's going to be the best way to get a neutral black color onto the car. Also, there is some stuff missing, like the rear speaker covers are missing. There is also some bolts missing for the actual seats, like the bolts that bolt the seats down, those are missing. It did come with A-pillar pods on the driver's side, obviously, and there's one missing, so I guess the guy never put one in, but it does come with, I think, a boost gauge or an AFR gauge, I don't remember, but there is a gauge there, which is pretty awesome. I don't know if I really want to run the A-pillars. I'm not sure yet. It's kind of too bait. I kind of want it to be a little bit more low-key. I don't really want that, but if I can't get rid of them, we'll probably just keep them and I'll cover them. Also, to go further on in the interior, it came with a different steering wheel. It's not a quick release, but it is a smaller steering wheel. It looks like a really crappy wheel. I don't know what brand it is or what it could be, but there's like holes on the what I thought where your thumbs would be. I guess there maybe someone had buttons there for like a nitrous lock or something. I don't know, but the wheel's destroyed, so that's like one of the first things I need to get rid of is that wheel, because it's disgusting and it's apart. And I'm pretty sure if I get pulled over, a cop's gonna be like, "What's this piece of crap in your car? It doesn't look safe." So that has to change as well. For suspension wise, it already comes with Tane coilovers. I don't know which ones. I have to look into them more because I don't really know a lot about that company. I know more about BC because I did purchase those for my SC, and I know a lot more about BC because a lot more people talk about BC racing and not as many talk about Tane. I could do a little bit of research. I'm going to get into that furthermore. For front brakes, I did buy a set of SL55 brake calipers, Brembos. So those, from what I understand from the research that I did, they are direct bolt-on to this car. You have to shave down a little bit of the bracket, just a little bit, so that it can center the brake pad. But that's all you have to pretty much do, and they're bolt-on. All I have to do is get pretty much Supra braided lines and run it to the main line, and get 350Z rotors with unfortunately a hub-centric ring so that I can bolt on. But that's what hub-centric rings are nothing. They're like $10 for billet aluminum ones, so that's pretty cheap. For most of the interior, what I want to do is either paint the carpet, or a lot of it I want to reupholster, like the headliner. There's a guy on Instagram I saw that he makes a lot of like TikTok or reels. He bought this like diamond studded or diamond embroidered material that I kind of want to use for most of my interior because I really like the way it came out in his car. That's something I would like to try, especially because the rear of the car, it's all this ugly burgundy carpet, and it is kind of getting worn down because it all, again, like I said, it is 33 years old. Only thing I do not like about this car, and I kind of realized when I went to go buy it, is the fact that it is a targa top. A lot of people like the targa tops, and I guess in the summer when the car is running, I will eventually grow to like it. But I'm not a fan of targa. I like to have solid roofs or just a flat roof so I can get the most structural rigidity out of the chassis without having to put a cage in. But I guess as long as that's there, it's fine. And I know they're not as bad as the Mark IV targa roofs. These ones don't leak like crazy. Like the Mark IVs, the second you take it off, it just leaks because the car was not designed for a targa. They kind of just said it would be nice to put a targa in these cars, and they just cut it and threw it in, and that's why they leak and they're not that great. As far as I know, I could be completely wrong about that, but everyone that owns Supras, like Pure Function and stuff like that, they always talk about that, so it is what it is. The car came with two different wings. One is like this big whale tail thing that I actually have grown to love. When I first saw it, I did not like it. But after I put it on the car, when I put it in my garage, I actually grew to love it, and I think that's the car, or that's the wing that I'm going to run on this car for a bit. It also did come with a stock style wing that like I said before, because I'm going to probably run the big whale tail. I probably won't run that, and I'll probably just keep it just in case I want to run it in the future. Because of that, there's a lot of holes in the hatch that I'm going to have to fix or see what lines up and fix, because there's a little bit of rust forming on some of the spots, and I'm going to have to somehow repair that just so at least the rust goes away, because it did leak from there and there's some water in the hatch because of that dumb thing. So the guy who put the whale tail on the car made provisions in the trunk, but also made provisions on the actual quarters, which doesn't make any sense. There's a bunch of holes in the quarter. I don't understand why you would do that, because if you put a hole in the quarter and bolt it from there, you can't lift the hatch. So I don't understand what was going through his head. It's like imagine putting a 326 wing on a 240 and putting holes into the quarters. You can't lift the hatch. Like, that doesn't make any sense. I think I can probably take the headlight bucket lids or the headlight covers and bring it to like a paint shop and try to get the paint matched to that, because this car was also, if you can't tell, was originally white. The guy previously, from the guy I bought it from, painted this car silver with the black hood and also painted the engine bay black. What is the plan? So I have parts coming in for my 2J. I already have a bottom end, built bottom end besides a crank, obviously, because I'm not looking for 1,000,000 horsepower. I'm just looking for about 400 to 600-ish. So my crank should be good, and my main bearings should be, or my main caps should be fine for that power that I'm looking for. I was suggested billet caps, but for the price that they are and what the power I'm looking for, I feel like that was just unnecessary upgrade for my motor. Since my motor isn't built, I have the bottom end, like I said, coming in. I have a built head or built head parts coming in also. Cams, springs, retainers, all that stuff, head gaskets, all that fun stuff. I also have a forward-facing manifold coming in soon that is going to work so that I don't have to have the intake wrapping over the head as the SC400s have it, because that is heat soak and it's not good for power. I want more efficiency than I do on power, so that's going to be more efficient just in general. Also, soon I have to order a header, because for the first year, or this year, what I want to do is I want to run the car NA just so I can get the car out running and just start ripping around. The car, from what I understand, they make about 220 to the crank factory. If I can get it to about 250 to 260 crank horsepower, I'll be pretty happy with the intake in bigger injectors, just because I'm gonna have the injector in the car so that the harness I buy is able to adapt to the injectors, instead of me having to attach them to the stock injectors and then have to rewire them for bigger injectors later. So I'm probably just gonna get ID 700s or 1000s right off the bat, just so the car is ready for the big power eventually and I don't have to worry about my harness later on. Most of the parts that I am using are just going to be parts that I was going to use in my SC, just I'm going to adapt them to this chassis here. So this is going to be probably the most overbuilt NA2J ever, besides it having ITBs, which is kind of funny, but we'll see how that goes. Because yeah, also what I'm going to do is I'm going to buy a second 2J just so I can take it apart, refresh it slightly, don't take the head off, just leave the long block the way it is. Maybe do a couple gaskets like front and rear main seal, simple things like that, and then throw the motor in with the new intake and headers, and then just put the wiring harness on it as it is. Since I don't need a turbo and stuff right away, because I would like to save up for a really nice turbo manifold and turbo and wastegate, just the simple parts like that, I would like to save up for that first, and then also have my big boy motor being built on the side for time attack in the future. Also, I would like to learn the car and set up the suspension perfectly before I put in a big engine. Like, I would like to go with battle version arms and stuff like that right off the rip, just so the car is ready for stuff like that. Now, a lot of this is going on, and I've talked a lot about what's going on with the car. I probably missed a couple things, but in the future, you will just see my whole video series. This is the end of the SC build. As you can see, there's no SC in my garage. It's Supra. I can't really remember everything else with this car, because this is a fresh build, it's a fresh car. I still have to go through it and find all the little quirks with the car. So I don't know what else to mention, but that's pretty much the gist of what's going on with this car. I did put in a little bit of footage of what the car looks like. I tried to get my best because, like I said, Canada. But yeah, this is my new car. This is the new build. Hopefully, time attack this year. And yeah, we're gonna get real excited, really into it this year. I want to do a bunch of track days, just really breaking the car as much as I can. Yeah, I'm rambling on. I don't know what else to say. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for subscribing. And I'll see you guys next time when we further go on with this build. I have a lot of stuff coming up, like sim rig, and I'm doing rear caliper stuff for my Celica, so we can convert that. But you'll see that soon. And anyways, later.